I am fucking bored. So we're gonna watch Watchmojo, and I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna advertise the stream a little bit because this is the dumbest thing. This is the dumbest thing I can think of. This is the only thing I can think of for what to do today. I don't want to play Pokemon today. I just kind of want to just watch shit. So we're just gonna watch shit. I just gotta share this a little bit. That's what we're doing today. And I'm gonna wait a minute because I don't know. I mean, this might be fun. This might be funny. I know Coney does it, and I like Coney. A little bit, at least. Not a whole lot. But he got me to watch Watchmojo more, and I just kind of like sit back and enjoy the bullshit. God, it's so dumb. I'm so dumb. Like, yeah, this is what we're doing. I'm thinking, at least I have a thumbnail so people can, so like if people join, people join, they'll know what's going on. And I am gonna wait a minute for people to join because, you know, that would be silly and funny if I did that. Actually, no, we'll put something on. We'll put something on. I know. Why would I do this when I have no one else watching? Because I'm fucking bored. And I know stuff that I am gonna watch. I'm gonna put this on first. Because I should know this.
So I thought this girl was working out like crazy, but she wasn't. I met her yesterday at the gym, and I asked her, how do you look so great?
Dang, girl, you have such a nice...
Follow the messages.
I forgot that can happen. Alrighty, I'm bad. I just realized there's more on the screen. This is on my account where I've like watched nothing. This is where I put my fucking gameplay stuff back in the day. Alright, we're gonna scroll up, I'm gonna do this real quick. Look at Kyogre for a moment, everyone. Look at Kyogre. Isn't he awesome? Isn't Kyogre awesome? Oh! Cookies! So, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it was Minnesota where this happened, the fake zombie thing. Max Headroom incident has to be #1. It's always at the top. Groudon is, I think Kyogre's better. What else is gonna be in here? You know what, let's let it play.
Follow the messages on screen that will be updated as information becomes available.
What else is gonna be on here?
Welcome to Watchmojo.
Vrillon?
And today we're counting down our picks for the most bizarre broadcasts and TV interruptions that defy...
I just need to think. Oh, look, there he is. There's Max Headroom. I know there's one Wyoming incident. That has to be here.
Explanation.
Actually, no, that one wasn't
computer
real.
that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild.
Number 10, UVB 76,
Okay.
The Buzzer.
I haven't heard of this one yet.
Radio.
Ah, Sheldon!
Use it.
It picks up broadcasts
Oh my God!
around the world.
Sorry,
Shortwave radio has been a useful tool in war zones.
Sorry, he frightens me. He frightens me. Oh
But it
my
lacks
God.
a concrete method of moderation and is relatively simple to use. This means that anyone could theoretically start their own station.
Sorry,
One
I'm
of the
sorry,
format's
Log. I
mystery
forgot that it picks up
stations
really
is
loud.
UVB
I just get
76,
really scared by young
also
Sheldon.
known as
I
the
won't
Buzzer,
scream again.
which primarily transmits short buzzing sounds, not unlike the horn of a boat or truck. This is sometimes accompanied by the muffled sounds of conversation or even screaming.
Ah, that lady must have been on there then. They have footage of her reacting to it. Wow! Thank you,
It will be
Watchmojo.
pretty strange on its own, but seemingly random interruptions of Russian voices reading out call signs
It is a bit,
make the
Log.
station
It
even
is
more
a bit.
mysterious. It is thought
I
that the
watched way too
signal
much
may
Big
have
Bang
ties
Theory
to the
growing
Russian
up, so I
military
have
operations, but
I have an
beyond that,
ironic
its
hatred
purpose is
for him.
unknown.
I'd be fucking
Number
creeped
9,
out.
Yosemite Sam.
What's up? Why, you ornery fur
DMCA, that's Looney Tunes.
train robbery hole.
My stream's gonna get
In
taken down,
1945,
everyone.
Animator Fritz Freeling created the
Also, I have
easily
not heard of
irritable
this either.
cowboy Yosemite Sam as a foil to Bugs Bunny. Little did he know that the character's distinctive voice will be transmitted by a shortwave radio station 60 years later. Simply dubbed Yosemite Sam, the rumored station would crackle to life 7 seconds after the start of an hour, playing an audio clip of the title character saying,
Ow.
I'm gonna blow you up.
This was followed by a series of
why?
intensifying frequencies, which lasted 2
Why
minutes.
would anyone do this?
In 2005, 2 ham radio operators traced the transmission to a radio test site for a military contractor. However, after being spotted by a security guard, they abandoned their documentation efforts and fled.
If you sleep on your site,
No, I hate ads. I need to get YouTube Premium for this.
They might be.
Ignore the ads. The advertisements do not
broadcast
exist.
soon
Ignore
after
them.
was
They
never
are a
heard again.
figment of your imagination.
It bothers me.
Number 8, Bible verses on the Playboy
I've heard of
channel.
this.
So we're gonna be looking
I've heard of
for
this.
Cozy. I know that she wants.
Also, yeah, people are weird.
In September
They do shit like this,
1987,
too.
audiences who tuned into a screening of an adult film on the Playboy channel were surprised when their scheduled programming was interrupted by a display of Bible verses. The incident, which ironically happened on a Sunday, was ultimately pinned on a man named Thomas Haney, who worked for the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN's Christian Financial Planning Department wants to help you properly plan your will or living trust.
Although it seems like an open and shut case, Haney has maintained his innocence throughout, and the network claims that the evidence against him is purely circumstantial.
The fuck?
Professional broadcasters have even tried to recreate the hack using the religious station's equipment, to no avail. Which begs the question, who did interrupt the Playboy channel's broadcast that
Hello,
night?
that random
The CBN
scientist.
Ministry
How are
Handbook
you
and a
doing?
1-hour
How is
cassette.
everyone doing today?
How to help others. Now is the time to reclaim this land with strong Christian leadership.
Number 7, the Backward Music Station, Wales.
I research a lot of shit like this. There's 3 of these that I haven't heard of. And that's surprising.
Another radio broadcast, another strange and unexplainable noise. This XM station has been dubbed the Backwards Music Station by some, although it involves no actual music. We think its alternate title, Whales or Whale Song, feels
Holy
a bit
shit,
more
I didn't know
accurate
Free
to the
Willy was a
unsettling
radio
sounds it
station.
broadcasts across the airwaves.
That's what they're implying
the
here,
station
though,
has
right?
no
Yeah, Free
discernible
Willy, yeah,
schedule, often falling silent for lengthy periods before popping back up with the sounds of otherworldly feedback.
Otherworldly? You mean the ocean. The ocean. You know, I could make a
Although
beat out
one
of this,
could
though.
believe these broadcasts
If I had
were
music
mistakes,
skills,
to
I
do
could
so
I could
would
make a
ignore
beat
the
out of
sheer
that.
amount of equipment and energy needed to transmit the sounds over such a wide area. Conspiracies abound about what the station's purpose is, with many believing it to be a secret government signal.
I just intercepted a signal to a privately owned satellite.
There are hundreds of private satellites.
The signal is being transmitted on a government frequency.
Number 6, Wow
Oh.
Signal.
Astronomers are always listening.
I haven't heard of this one
in outer
either.
space, so imagine you're listening closely for something as quiet
I still
as a pin
think
to drop.
fucking
Bam, you
God,
hear
yeah.
something as loud as
either
books
the
slamming on a
Verlon
table.
thing
While all mysterious
or
radio
Max
signals
Headroom is
can
going to be number
unnerving,
1.
most can at least
Those
be
are like
traced
the most
back to
iconic
earthly
ones.
locations. The Wow signal, on the other hand, seems to come from the stars. The purportedly extraterrestrial transmission was recorded with a radio telescope at Ohio State University in 1977.
I don't trust it.
Somewhere
Then.
around
I don't trust it if it's from Ohio.
10 Eastern Standard Time.
I don't trust their
a very
memes.
bright radio signal pulsed in.
But it was only after astronomer Jerry R. Amon came across it that its anomalous nature was discovered. Amon circled the recorded data and
if I do
wrote
more,
"Wow"
if people
beside
like
it,
this,
giving
and
the
I do
signal its
more just me
charmingly
watching,
simplistic name. Over the
if I do
years,
just more me
attempts
watching
have been
stuff,
made
I'm gonna
hear and
need to get a
record the
camera.
surprising sound again to no
You
avail,
can't see me
adding to
just
the
going
signal's
like,
mysterious nature.
what the
Could it
fuck
really
on
be
my
once-in-a-lifetime
face, like
evidence of
every
alien
like
life?
5 minutes. It only happened once so far, but you know, I make silly faces. That's kind of my
Number
whole thing.
5, salacious Super Bowl hijack.
No one ever gets to see
There's
him.
something else to take note of today. Remember when a Super Bowl interruption used to mean a guy who would run onto the field that none of us were ever allowed to see?
The 43rd Super Bowl was a game for the ages, a
Have I heard of this
competitive
one?
matchup between the Steelers and Cardinals.
Does this
that
have
drew
to
in
do
more
with
viewers
naughty
than
imagery?
Any Super Bowl before it. Unfortunately for some Arizonans, about 30 seconds of their team's landmark game were interrupted by some unexpected adult content.
Somehow, the signal from the game got mixed up with the signal from some channel called Club Jenna. I'm told a naughty channel.
Sure, it's true that the
Yep, that
Super
makes
Bowl has
sense.
been known to run some pretty risque ads in the past, but they all pale in comparison
it's from Arizona,
to
so
the
I haven't heard
full
of
frontal
it.
nudity seen by these select
I
Tucson
think I've heard
residents.
something about that in
In
Michigan.
response to the hijack, Comcast ended
But
up
I
offering a
assumed,
$10
like,
credit to each of the affected
that would make
households,
sense.
a hefty sum that reflected poorly on the accused culprit, Frank Gonzalez.
And Frank Gonzalez was sent to prison for 3 years. And the really bizarre thing about this story, we're a decade later, it's still not clear why he decided to hack into that Super Bowl broadcast in the first place.
He thought it was
Number
funny.
4, Lucky 7.
Oh, Marcos of Ahoy Mateys fame. He had a pirate radio show. I've been listening to it nonstop, hence the headphones.
While most television hacks are short one-off events, Lucky 7 was a bit different. One of the first ever
Every
pirate
time
TV
they show like a
stations,
clip,
Lucky
I
7
assume they're showing a
broadcast for
clip
3
of the
nights in a row in
interruption.
1978, taking over an inactive channel in
And
Syracuse.
I feel like there's
Although the
going to be a
station's
jump
host
scare
could
at
be a
any
bit
point when they
disconcerting,
show a random
wearing
clip.
a gas mask to remain anonymous. The
Also,
channel didn't
what
seem
the
to have
fuck?
overtly nefarious motives.
Don't show me Doctor Who after that. What was that?
Are you my mommy?
It simply
No!
aired shows like Star Trek and The Twilight Zone, as well as films that were unavailable on television at the time, such as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Oh, it's
Nest.
that guy.
Future entertainment was initially promised by the channel's host, but after attracting national attention,
Jack.
Lucky
I
7
forgot his last
ultimately went
name.
off the air for good.
But I tried, didn't I? God damn it. At least I did that.
Number 3, Zombie Apocalypse Message.
Yep, I've heard of this
Montana
one.
TV station is beefing up its
Montana,
computer
not-
security after hackers
not Minnesota.
used the station to broadcast
I thought it
a
was from
phony
Minnesota.
zombie alert.
But I have heard
Years
of
after
this.
The Walking Dead began on AMC, residents of 4 U.S. states got a taste of what its characters may have experienced in the early days of
5 words
No,
you pronounce wrong
the
2 years
ads!
before your brain starts shutting down.
My brain is shutting down. What the
plead
fuck do you
diabetes.
mean? My brain is shutting
infection.
down.
Hackers exploited the
What do you
emergency
mean my
alert
brain
system,
is shutting
interrupting
down?
local channels airing programs like The Steve Wilkos Show and Barney and Friends to relay a message about the dead rising from their graves.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves.
This one
and
still creeps
attacking
me
the
out for
living.
some reason.
There's a
I
clear
don't know
attempt
why.
to make the report sound official, with the voiceover maintaining a professional tone as it instructs viewers not to approach the supposed undead roaming the streets. Although
Bro, your
reports claim
crosshair
that
is
the
too
people
big. You're supposed to be in the
responsible
middle
were
of the
arrested,
screen,
the
idiot.
same message would resurface on an Indiana radio station 4
The
years
fuck
after
are you
the
gonna
initial
know where to
incident.
hit
Do
people?
not attempt to approach or apprehend these bodies as they are considered extremely dangerous.
Number 2,
No, not the
1977 Southern Television broadcast interruption.
Oh, this is Vrillon. Yeah, this one. Okay, this one's number 2. Max Headroom's number 1. Also, what is this
In
video?
1938,
That has
a
nothing
radio
to do with that.
broadcast of the War of the Worlds inspired mass panic when listeners mistook the story for a real alien invasion.
Oh, God,
Almost
I'm
40
sorry,
years later,
Log.
history will repeat itself, this time with an unplanned, smaller-scale broadcast in southern England. Interrupting a news report, a speaker who called himself Vrillon, or
what is
Gillon, or
this?
Astron,
What is this
depending on
video?
who you asked, addressed the ITN audience.
Do they not have footage? Oh wait, no, right? Because there's no footage. It's only audio because it was a
They
radio
urged
thing.
viewers to abandon
Right.
their weapons of evil
put
in
something over
preparation
that, I
for the
guess.
new age of Aquarius. This new era would supposedly mark a period of human evolution,
Ooh,
as long
World
as
War
people
Z, I know
learn to
that
coexist
movie.
peacefully. The unsettling transmission lasted almost 6 minutes, but no culprits, alien or otherwise, were ever found.
Yeah, they still haven't found who did that shit. That shit could have actually been aliens. No, to this day, fucking what, 50 years later, almost? We have no idea who did that. There's no proof that was or wasn't alien.
What is it? Is it terrorists?
Which is insane and terrifying.
Before we continue, be sure to
But
subscribe
also,
to
it's
our
been
channel
50
and ring the
years.
bell to get notified about our latest.
If that Vrillon guy was serious, humanity would be dead right now. Because if that dude was serious about that, we would all be dead by now. He wouldn't be waiting this long. Either that, or we just randomly shot down an aircraft and it just had that guy in it. And I'm gonna believe that because that's just funny. Bro tried to invade as a one-man army, and we just randomly shot him down because we thought he was a pigeon or something.
Videos. You have the option to be notified for
That's
occasional
my
videos or
headcanon.
all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure
Oh,
you go into
okay.
your settings and switch on notifications.
Is he 28 days later?
Number 1.
Yeah!
the
I knew
March
it!
Intrusion.
I fucking knew it.
One
Literally,
of
what
television's
else would be?
strangest broadcast intrusions is also naturally one of its most interesting. On November 22, 1987, residents of Chicago, Illinois experienced two separate signal hijackings by a figure dressed as satirical television host Max Headroom. The first was an unsettling 20-second-long broadcast of Headroom bouncing around the screen, accompanied by a buzzing static sound. 2 hours later, he resurfaced, this time interrupting a broadcast of Doctor Who. He spoke with distorted audio, spouting catchphrases and humming the Clutch
Yeah,
Cargo
1987.
theme song.
This was in 87. The Verlon thing was in 1977, to be fair. So this was on live TV.
The longer he was allowed to speak, the more bizarre the content became. After about 90 seconds, the interruption ended and normal programming resumed. To this day,
Yeah,
the identities of the
1987, yeah.
hijackers remain unknown.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I.
Have you ever witnessed a strange broadcast?
Actually, what I'm surprised isn't here is Captain Midnight, where a dude like hacked a cable station because they weren't paying him a lot of money. Like he got like a reverse raise, and bro just put on like little messages at midnight, and he got fired for it.
Let us know in the comments.
What the hell is going on? You saw we're under attack!
Did you enjoy?
That's a good movie. That's a good movie. Speaking of movies, what are the top 30 worst movies of the century so far, I wonder?
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy
Definitely
anything
not
online.
that.
Don't spend
That's
another
not a
dime on
movie.
Gary! Is
Adam Sandler! Adam Sandler!
Welcome to Watchmojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most dismal films of the 21st century.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Number 30.
I love bad movies. Oh my, of course this is here. Oh god. I know Son of the Mask is bad. I know that's gonna be here. I don't think this deserves to be in the top 30 worst movies of the century. I've seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's bad, but it wasn't trying to be good. It was made as like a bit. It was basically just a bit, just to see if they could. I don't think it's one of the worst movies ever made, especially of the century, of the decade. Yes, definitely of the decade so far. It's like it's
Winnie
one of the worst
Pooh,
movies.
Blood and Honey.
Remember when we were younger, Pooh, please.
I'm glad that this movie's getting a sequel that actually has genuine production value, though, because it
Reimagining
might
of
be the
beloved
sequel
childhood
might be
characters
good.
is bound to be controversial.
It's
but it
like they
turns
made
out
one
even
purposely
more
bad
horrifying
movie
than the
so that they
gory
could get
kills
the
in this
money
movie
to
was
make
the
a decent
screenplay.
movie.
In
I think that's
January
what's happening.
2022, the first Winnie the Pooh book went into the public domain, allowing writer-director Rhys Frake Waterfield to plan his own nightmare version of A.A. Milne's classic story. A slasher that sees Pooh and friends kidnap Christopher Robin and go on a murderous rampage against a group of university students, the movie was panned for its weak dialogue, story, and acting. However, it did make over $5 million on a budget of just $100,000, and so there's a sequel in the works.
Yep, and they actually have the money to make it good. From what
Number
people have
29,
seen, the consensus
After
seems to
Earth.
be, oh, it might actually be decent. Haven't seen this movie though, because it's not a horror movie.
Me too.
This 2013 post-apocalyptic action movie starring
Well,
Will
how'd you
Smith
start
and
it?
his son
He
Jaden was
said he didn't see
directed
it
by
either. What
M.
the
Night
fuck?
Shyamalan, a director famous for his surprise twist endings.
It's a Shyamalan
Unfortunately,
movie.
this
Never
entry
mind. Maybe
doesn't
this is a
have
horror
a surprise
movie.
twist where we tell you how it was actually a good film. With flat performances and a cliched, preachy, predictable story, After Earth was disliked by both critics and audiences. Will Smith had pitched the movie to the studio as just the beginning of a series of films, television shows,
is
theme
he
park rides,
holding?
and much more.
Oh.
Needless to say,
Damn.
that all went away after the film was released.
That sucked.
That is correct.
Number 28,
Yes.
Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li.
Oh no.
Should we kill you before or after?
I didn't know they made
While the
another
video game
live-action Street
franchise is
Fighter.
still going strong, we've still never gotten a quality live-action Street Fighter movie.
I didn't know
At
they
least
made
the
another.
1994 film with Jean-Claude Van Damme made money at the box office.
Yeah.
However, not only did 2009's Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li lose the studio money, it was even worse than the 1994 film, something many probably never thought possible. Besides
The
the
1994
terrible
movie
writing
was
and
like-
cardboard acting,
it was
The Legend of
ho-
Chun-Li
it was
also
funny
criticized
bad.
for less than stellar
I've
fight
never even
scenes.
heard of this one,
And
so it's
if
probably
you
just
can't at
boring
least-
bad. No! Mobile games! Ignore the mobile games, chat. Ignore the mobile games.
Get awesome fight
Just
scenes
think
in
about
a
Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter movie, then what's the point?
How do you know who I am?
We've been watching you for some time.
I know who took your
Chad,
father.
I'm sorry. I wish I'll get YouTube Premium. I
Number
swear.
27, Holmes
I
and
swear I'll
Watson.
get YouTube Premium if you guys want to see more stuff like of just me watching shit.
After Talladega Nights and Step Brothers, we were all ready for another Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly collaboration to be a laugh riot. The only mystery in Holmes and Watson is how so many funny people produced such a clueless, not to mention elementary comedy.
Oh, Purple.
The movie basically follows the same
I
formula
like
as every
Purple.
other Will Ferrell
I
star
don't know what's
vehicle.
going on in this
An
movie. All I saw is a
egotistical
purple
buffoon
hat,
needs
and I like
to learn
purple.
the value of humility and friendship.
Ah, the most obvious conclusion.
This time, however, the formula is devoid of anything resembling charm, humor, or effort. In 2018, did the filmmakers seriously think that people would laugh at jokes about fake mustaches, the Titanic, and women being doctors?
What does doctor mean in America?
It means doctor. The fact that Sony couldn't even pawn this inevitable bomb off on Netflix says everything. Number 26, The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
Oh,
well.
Another horror movie.
Pregnant little starlet. She's got some fight in her.
The premise sounds
Your
just
acting
awful,
sucks.
but somehow it was made into a film. Writer-director Daniel Farron's horror movie stars Hilary Duff as Sharon Tate, who's having premonitions of her murder.
Oh,
a murder that, of course,
no.
really did happen in the summer of 1969.
Oh.
There are a few worthwhile movies about Charles Manson and the Manson family murders, and you're definitely better off watching them instead. The exploitative screenplay and miscasting of Hilary Duff were poorly received by critics and audiences alike. It is a cheap schlock horror take on tragic real events.
I guess you could
Okay, yeah, that's
say
fucked up.
I
Don't
live in a fairy tale world.
don't make movies about tragedies like that. Don't do that. Don't fucking do. If you're gonna put like a big tragedy in a movie, don't make it based on something real.
Looking at everything through
That's
those
a
colored
dick
glasses. I probably always will.
Number 25, Glitter. There's been no
Never heard
shortage
of
of
this
quality
either.
musical dramas in the 21st century, but this is not one of them. Mariah Carey has tried to blame the film's failure on the fact it was released on 9/11, even though it was actually released
what?
on the much less traumatic 9/21.
Oh.
You got anything we can hear right now?
Okay.
Sure, why not?
We're working on it. But the fact that critics and fans alike loathed the film seems like a far more likely explanation. For one, Carey's performance as Billy Frank was so harshly criticized, she ended up winning the Razzie in 2002 for Worst Actress.
Your whole thing, the superstar always comes first.
Look, don't blame me for your failure.
After
Mariah
just
Carey
27
acts?
days
I
in
thought she was
theaters,
just a singer.
it closed, having earned back only around a quarter of its $22 million budget. All that glitters clearly ain't box office gold. Number 24, Pinocchio.
Could she find it in her heart to forgive me? Then I asked myself, is it possible that her heart
Why
is
is his-
big enough? I thought,
Why is that not lip
but then
sync?
yes,
Why does he have a
of course it
collar?
is.
What the fuck is
Italian
this?
actor, writer, and director Roberto Benigni became a household name with the release of his multi-award-winning film Life is Beautiful in 1997. But life wasn't so beautiful 5
Chad, what do
years
you
later
think is
when his
happening
film
so
Pinocchio
far?
made its way
Like,
to theaters.
in this entire
what
compilation,
made Life is Beautiful
this
so
entire top
amazing was
30.
Benigni's ability to bring true
What
moments
do you guys
of
think is
beauty
gonna be
in the
number
midst of
one?
unthinkable monstrosity. But in Pinocchio, that joie de vivre is missing. Instead, it feels like
Like
Benigni
I
is
don't
just
think
going
Son
through
of the Mask
motions.
is going to be
There's
the
also
worst movie of the
questionable
decade.
edit
I don't
that
think it's going
Miramax
to be
did
number
the film
one.
for
It's
the
probably going to be
English
like number
dubbed version
3.
released in the U.S. While the Italian
But I'm not
release
sure what
received
would be.
mixed reviews,
I think Cats
the
is
U.S.
probably gonna
version
be up
rocks
there.
0% on Rotten
Cats, the
Tomatoes.
2019 Cats movie is probably going to be in the top 3.
Number 23, Saving Christmas.
Just maybe, someone like Santa Claus is actually on the team?
Best known for his
What?
role as Mike Seaver on Growing Pains,
I thought he was
Kirk
gonna say
Cameron became
Santa
a
Claus is
born-again
actually
Christian at 17
dead?
and has spent much of the last decades producing TV and movies that speak to his faith. One such work was the 2000.
Jacob, what do you mean don't lose? What do you mean don't lose? What? Bro, what do you mean don't lose?
14 holiday film Saving Christmas, which begins with Cameron delivering a diatribe to the audience that Christmas is under attack. The movie/sermon that follows consists of Cameron's arguments to a character playing his brother-in-law,
What the
named
hell do you mean by
Christian,
don't
for the
lose?
Christian roots of Christmas. The only people who are
I'm
angrier than
watching
Cameron are those
videos.
that had to watch this poorly written and painfully acted slog. As one YouTube commenter put it, quote, Finally, something that both atheists and Christians can dislike.
Santa. Rearrange letters. Satan.
What?
Santa, Satan.
Oh my.
Same letters.
Number 22.
No, that's Santa's. Hey, wait, that's the guy from Hatchet.
The Hottie and the Naughty.
June's a handler at the zoo.
That's great.
That's the
Well,
guy.
the
That's the
only
main guy from
downside is that
Hatchet, from the first one.
Constantly covered in hair.
I love that movie.
Not that I don't already have enough to begin with.
Shockingly, Paris Hilton's acting isn't even the worst thing about this movie. She plays the titular hottie, Christabel, the love interest of Joel David Moore's Nate. When Nate asks her out, she agrees, but only if he finds a date for her best friend, the Naughty. What?
For anyone struggling with earrings, do not
Spoons!
drink water.
Spoons!
You may
No,
not know
get
this,
away from me. I hate
but the
ads. I hate
biological-
ads.
What
I hate
follows
ads. I
are
hate ads.
cruel
They're
jokes at the
scary.
Naughty's expense, a dramatic makeover, and true love. While the film may see itself as celebrating inner beauty, it definitely does not. The script, the dialogue, and the depth of characters are as surface level as the beauty that really matters in this movie.
It's a little bit of a shock to the system. You have the whole new look.
Number 21, Catwoman.
Oh, took this
Here's
long
a
to get to a
movie
superhero
executive
movie?
board meeting we can't imagine happening.
Actually, wait,
Hey
yeah,
guys,
Batman
the
vs. Superman is
campiness
probably
of
going to be
Batman
up
and
here.
Robin was such a success. Let's create the same cheesy atmosphere for this Batman spin-off and not use Batman at all. Extra points to Halle Berry for agreeing to do this, fresh off her Oscar win though.
Cats come when they feel like it.
Can I open my eyes yet? Is
It
she
won
gone?
Razzies for Worst Picture, Screenplay.
I'm gonna open my eyes in
actress,
3
and
seconds.
director.
I assume
And
that she's going to be gone by
everybody,
then.
Even Halle Berry
3,
agreed that this was a piece
2,
of garbage.
1.
If you don't have an identity, why keep it a secret?
Okay, only her head is on screen.
Because you
That
wasn't even her.
Anything to do with the DC Comics characters.
It wasn't even
it also
her.
lacked any strong female characters, action sequences, or even a compelling plot. Jeez, where's Michelle Pfeiffer when we need her?
Oh my god.
Guess what?
Oh my god, get off my screen,
Number
please.
20, Fantastic
I-
Four. The next entry
Put
on our
on
list
some
is a case
goddamn
of tripping
clothes
right
if you're
out of
gonna
the
be
gate.
on the screen.
Director Josh Trank was a relative newcomer to the scene when he was hired to helm 2015's
this movie?
big-budget reboot of Marvel's Fantastic Four franchise.
What?
Come on!
Oh.
We can't leave him. Wait, we gotta go.
Oh yeah, this movie sucks. Also,
Trank had only
Green Lantern
one
movie's
prior
probably gonna be up
directorial
here as
credit
well,
in
right?
film to his name with 2012's Chronicle. Yet the writing was on the proverbial wall when Trank posted a negative tweet about his experience on the film prior to its release.
He's been active in covert operations with a 100% success rate.
This
Damn,
was
that
in
CG looks
addition
bad.
to the already poor reception Fant Four Stick was receiving from critics, who wrote off the film as a, quote, woefully misguided attempt to translate a classic comic series without the humor, joy, or colorful thrills that made it great. Ouch.
Gotta say,
Is that Tom Holland?
fantastic.
Number 19, Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star.
Oh! You hit me in the eye!
We guess you could say that Nick Swardson was the 2010's equivalent to Rob Schneider, i.e. the guy who frequently pops up in Adam Sandler movies. Whereas Schneider had a few star vehicles back in the day, though, Swardson was given one shot to prove he could carry a movie.
That's my folks. On the big screen.
If Bucky Larson proves anything, it's that Swardson was not born to be a star. Centering on a buck-toothed mouth breather who learns his parents were adult film stars, Bucky Larson sets out in pursuit of fame.
Oh god.
It's basically a poorer version of Orgasmo, which didn't exactly set the bar very high. Throw in Pauly Shore, and you've got a movie that clearly is not even trying.
Hey, ma'am, I got your paper.
You can leave the paper on the counter.
Number 18, The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
That shouldn't have made me laugh.
No, they're not twins. I met the perfect woman and then I had
Fucking
a clone.
silence.
Which
Silence
one?
and loud noises. That's how you get me
This
to laugh.
sci-fi comedy was in development for almost 2 decades. We're not sure why they bothered. After Eddie Murphy signed on, several writers took cracks at the story, but Murphy rejected them all, asking for a regular action movie script like they'd write for Sylvester Stallone, promising that he'd bring the comedy.
Oh, so that's like what happened with fucking Spiral, where Chris Rock was like, I'll take care of the comedy. I'll take care of the comedy. Don't you worry about that. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to say it normally, but
Well,
fucking soda.
unfortunately, The Adventures
got
of
in my
Pluto
throat.
Nash just isn't funny, and the
Oh,
action
God.
isn't very interesting either. Even director Ron Underwood has admitted that it isn't good, and said of Murphy, quote, he wasn't feeling that funny, I don't think. Yeah, we noticed.
How did they find us?
Obviously, you did something stupid.
Number 17, Norm of the
Oh
North.
yeah,
I didn't know what to do.
When I forgot this movie existed.
If anyone thought that making a good animated movie is as easy as throwing together a bunch of cute talking animals, Norm of the North is here to prove you wrong. Talking animals
Why
alone
were
do
they
not a
pissing?
good movie
Why?
make,
Why?
Because what they're saying is also very important.
I looked at my phone.
And
I
what
looked
they
up. I
say
see
in this
fucking
one are
hamsters
mostly
pissing.
a lot of tired jokes interspersed throughout a film that obviously takes
the first time I do like a reaction stream, something that's not video game related.
Without any of
Is
the
my
charm or
channel
heart.
What's he doing?
Is my channel gonna get taken down?
He wants you to prove how tough he is. Could he
Kill
sign a
him.
release first?
Number 16, Cats.
Okay, I thought this would be higher. I thought this would be way higher.
It's a difficult matter.
We all know that having an all-star cast does not always translate into a successful picture, but that was just the tip of the iceberg when it came to Cats. The Tom Hooper-directed fantasy musical.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to skip past it because
Number 15.
I don't want to risk the channel getting banned because to YouTube, that's not Cats. I don't care, but that is not Cats.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Have a cat?
That is a cat, though. YouTube will say that these are cats. These are cats. I like those ones.
Defeat Ozaru, and I'm here to destroy you.
This movie lives in live-action adaptation infamy.
Yep.
Dragon Ball has been a beloved franchise since the release of the manga and anime in the mid-1980s. But
I
this
still haven't seen it very
2009
much.
live-action adaptation wasn't for the fans, showing very little faith to the source material. Then there was the casting, which invited accusations of whitewashing. Add in a weak script and awful acting, and you've got Dragon Ball Evolution. Critics and fans are not always on the same page, but
I've
in
seen
this
like
case,
the
they were
ending to this
lockstep
movie
in
because
their
I saw it
agreement.
randomly on TV.
I must be missing something.
I think because my
Needless to
dad
say,
thought I'd enjoy
the rest
it.
of the movies in the planned
I did
Dragon
not
Ball
enjoy it. I thought it was
series were
shit.
canceled.
We are just stuck down here.
Though to be fair, I only saw the
I'd
ending,
be, so grateful.
so I didn't have to experience the rest of the movie. I didn't have to go through
Number
all of it.
14, Alone in the Dark.
What the hell's going
Oh
on
god.
Especially known for his video game adaptations, Uwe Boll has built a reputation for direct.
Wait, yeah. I forgot. This is probably based on the game remake, and I know that there's a part in it I've seen on Coney's stream where a dude just gets fucking backhanded.
Some
it's
of
like
the
the funniest
worst
shit.
movies of all time, with most of his productions becoming critical and box office disasters.
I know
He
the
also
game
doesn't
remake
care
because
what
of the
you think.
movie.
Although House of the Dead deserves a special mention, it's his other video game adaptation that's our choice. In Alone in the Dark, Christian Slater uses his special powers to chase after these demonic creatures that used to be worshipped by an extinct civilization. And it is epically bad.
If they disrupt electricity, how come my flashlight still worked?
Number 13, Gotti.
This life ends one of two ways. Dead.
I feel like the
or
Alone in the
jail.
Dark one should be a
did
bit
both.
lower.
Congratulations,
the last
John
Airbender
Travolta.
one
You've
might
made your
be in
silliest
here.
movie since Battlefield Earth.
That
Are
would
you
make
not
sense.
aware that I graduated top of my class?
The script for this crime biopic reads like it was written by an AI bot that gathered all of its data from Italian-American stereotypes and gangster cliches.
You got us into this.
So the AI watched The
Gotti
Sopranos.
hits all the familiar mob movie beats, but it's completely
I've never seen The
deprived
Sopranos.
of
I don't
any
know if that's
humanity.
accurate.
When all's said and done, what do we really learn about John Gotti by watching this movie? Well, he was a mob boss, he had a family, he swore a lot,
And then he died?
That's about it. There's no real
Did he
insight
die?
into what made Gotti such a fascinating figure. The only thing more confused than the movie itself is the soundtrack, which includes the musical stylings of Pitbull and the theme from Shaft.
I mean, that ain't right. That ain't right.
Number 12, The Emoji Movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot this
Today is
movie
my
existed.
first
This one had
day on
Patrick
the phone.
Stewart in
Oh
it.
boy, I'm gonna be so meh. What are you gonna do?
In 1914, Winsor McKay premiered his animated short Gertie the Dinosaur, launching a groundbreaking art form into the mainstream. 103 years later, this art form was used to turn Sir Patrick Stewart into a talking piece of poop.
That's because I believe in you.
Should we wash our hands?
McKay would be so proud. The Emoji Movie doesn't even feel
I miss
like
when
a
Patrick
real
Stewart
animated
voiced
feature,
dragons.
but
He was
rather a
he voiced the
satire.
dragon in the third
Come
and
to think
fourth
of it,
Dragonheart
if smarter
movies.
writers were involved, maybe this could have been a clever satire about product placement and Hollywood's creative bankruptcy.
This feels very odd, and it smells.
Since this is a movie about a society that inhabits a device, however, it's nothing more than a commercial, really. As Rotten Tomatoes will tell you, the whole movie can be summed up with a general prohibition sign emoji.
Aim higher, Stephen.
Number 11, Freddy Got Fingered.
What?
In the name of sweet breakfast meats are you doing?
What?
Even when he was making the Tom Green Show for local Canadian television, then the Comedy
Freddy
Network,
Fazbear
and
got
eventually
what?
MTV, we understood that the comedian is an acquired taste. And while many of us enjoyed the subversive comedy on his show, his 2001 film Freddy Got Fingered is a flavor many of us did not ever acquire. Sausages hanging from ceilings and newborns swung around by their umbilical cord just didn't seem funny to a lot of us. While the movie has gained a cult following in the intervening decades, it still holds a 10% critic score and a 56 audience rating on Rotten
Fucking
Tomatoes.
what? PG-13, fucking PG-13 urban
Number
spook type
10,
shit?
Geely. Thanks to Bennifer 1.0, this monstrosity received way more attention than it deserved. However, that didn't stop the movie from being among Hollywood's most expensive bombs ever.
In every relationship, there's a bull and a cow. It just so happens that in this relationship right here with me and you, I'm the bull. You're the cow.
In Geely, Ben Affleck is a mobster who needs to kidnap a prosecutor's brother who has mental disabilities in order to help a crime boss played by Al Pacino avoid prison. You all guessed right.
Al
This is
Pacino?
clearly a romantic comedy.
What about me?
What?
It's not your type.
Ignore me chewing on the lid of my
This
Dr.
movie
Pepper
is
bottle.
offensive to people with mental disabilities, to lesbians, and to any audience members with eyes or ears. After winning 6 Razzies, it later won a 7th for Worst Comedy of the Razzies' first 25 years. Well deserved.
Oh
Number
my
9,
God.
Son of the Mask.
Number 9?
Love Halloween.
I mean, I thought it would be higher. I knew it wouldn't be number 1, but I thought it would be high. I thought it would still be a bit higher.
The studio found a sequel irresistible and wanted to bring back Jim Carrey. The problem was that Carrey didn't want to do it. And that's why,
that's me in
instead
Lethal
of The Mask
Company
2,
when I put on the
we got Son of
mask
the
and I
Mask
kill all my
instead.
friends in
And
Lethal
the
Company.
results were anything but.
You put on the mask. You can't
This
take off the
bobblehead
mask.
is just ridiculous. And did you notice who it is? That's right, none other. Okay.
I know who that was. Somebody.
The script feels like a premise desperately trying to find a story, and the CGI can't hide just how unfunny it all is. And no disrespect to Jamie Kennedy, but he's no Jim Carrey. To paraphrase the original Mask, somebody should have stopped him from agreeing to be in this movie. In fact, somebody should have stopped everyone from making it.
Who's the turkey?
Yeah. Jamie Kennedy,
Number
what the
8,
fuck are you doing?
The Last Airbender.
Oh!
Is it okay if you tell me your name?
Log was right.
The monks named me Ong.
The Last Airbender lived up to its title, but not in the way director M. Night Shyamalan intended. Shyamalan built up this film as if it was going to kick off Hollywood's next epic trilogy.
Oh, I've seen this clip. Oh, wait.
Between its rushed plot,
I've seen that clip with a bunch of memes where the stone just hits some random dude,
wooden
and
acting,
it's usually funny.
overproduced special
It's
effects,
not funny in
unnatural
context.
dialogue, and accusations of whitewashing, though, a sequel naturally never saw the light of day.
Good.
The good news is that there's already an epic trilogy, the 3-season-long animated series that inspired this cinematic travesty.
True!
That being said,
I've
the
never
fact
seen
that
it,
The
but
Last
true!
Airbender was derived from such a brilliant show is what truly gets under people's skin. A terrible movie is one
I've never
thing.
seen a single
terrible movie
episode
based on
of The Last
promising source
Airbender.
material is just shameful.
Nor do I really care that much, but
Must let.
all I know is that it is very good.
Number 7, movie 43.
Hello, Mrs. Miller. I'm the pretty girl. She is.
Helmed by Peter Farrelly, who'd ironically go on to direct a Best Picture winner only 5 years later, movie 43 was supposed to be Kentucky Fried Movie meets Funny or Die. Instead, we got the Citizen Kane of awful, as Richard Roper put it.
Oh, no, no,
Comprised
The
of
Room
several
is gonna be
sketches,
number 1, I
this
just
anthology
realized.
comedy enlisted a cornucopia
Yeah, The
of
fucking
gifted
Room is gonna
actors
be
and
number 1.
filmmakers. The selling
the most
point was a
infamous-
skit where
it's like
Kate
the
Winslet
most
goes on a date with
famous
Hugh
bad
Jackman,
movie
who's given
ever.
a
It's literally the-
unique neck
It's literally the
abnormality.
best bad movie of all
Lois.
time.
Yes, Lois Lane. No, I know. It's me, Robin.
From there, more and more stars signed up for a comedy that ultimately produced few laughs, but plenty of groans and cringes. We dare
Is that
you to find a
Slimesicle?
movie released that same decade that
Why is
flushed
Charlie
more
Slimesicle
talent
in
down
this
the
movie?
toilet.
Certain percentage of our younger demographic are sticking there. You know what? In the vent.
No, I don't know what.
Number 6, Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
Oh yeah, this decade or this century.
I'm a fashion model.
And a beautiful one, too.
Hey guys, this is my quality. You guys ready to film?
Room has to be number one. There's literally nothing else that could be number one at this point.
Although most steps down for a paycheck, Travolta spent
to pizza.
You think about everything.
The Room was created by
You're
Tommy
tearing
Wiseau, a
me
mysterious
apart,
eccentric who delivers one of the most head-scratching performances ever as the lead in this cringeworthy romantic drama.
I did not hit her.
I did not.
Oh,
hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
Wiseau plays a banker in San Francisco named Johnny, who's trying
I've
to
never
help
seen
with
this
the
movie, but I can
infidelities
still
of his
quote
fiancée
it.
Lisa.
You're
tearing me apart, Lisa!
Why are you so hysterical?
Do you understand life?
Do you understand life? I love this. This man's the silliest guy ever. There was apparently gonna be like a vampire car chase in this movie because Tommy Wiseau was just like, "It flies, it has vampire in it, it's cool," or something like that.
Do you?
From the melodramatic acting and awkward sex scenes to the nonsense plot, the movie tries to convince audiences that it's authentic and real, while somehow missing every single note.
Go.
Gee, Peter, you're clumsy.
There's a reason The Room has often been called the best worst movie ever made. What films do you think are the worst of the century so far? Let us know in the comments below.
This is why Superman works alone.
Did you enjoy the...
I would honestly say, Dragonheart 2 is one of the worst movies of all time. But that's my own personal bias, because I hate that movie. And it makes the original one look worse. Follow